Ambassador Cole stood in the grand hall of the Vraxian Imperial court, trying very hard not to sweat through his ceremonial uniform. Around him, thousands of aliens from dozens of species watched with expressions ranging from curiosity to barely concealed disgust. The ceiling arched hundreds of feet overhead, decorated with bioluminescent patterns that pulsed in rhythm with what he could only assume was sacred music. He had been summoned without explanation, pulled from his quarters in the diplomatic wing by royal guards, who spoke not a word during the entire journey. That was never a good sign. Queen Marathos sat upon her throne, a massive construct of crystallized bone and precious metals that had been passed down through 300 generations of Vraxian rulers. She was enormous, nearly 12 feet tall, even while seated, with 4 arms crossed in what Cole had learned meant serious deliberation. Her scales shimmered purple and gold in the chamber's light. Behind her stood Princess Vara, the heir apparent, looking decidedly uncomfortable. "Human," the queen's voice boomed across the hall, amplified by the chamber's unusual acoustics. "Step forward." Cole obeyed, his boots clicking against the polished stone floor. Each step echoed. Each echo made him more nervous. "Your Majesty," he said, bowing in the Vraxian fashion, which involved a complex gesture with both hands that he had practiced for weeks before getting right. "You know my daughter," the queen stated. It was not a question. "I have had the honor of working with Princess Vara on the trade negotiations, yes." "Working," the queen repeated, her tone unreadable. "Is that what you call it?" Cole felt his stomach drop. Around the hall, he could hear the rustling of scales, the clicking of mandibles, the various sounds that dozens of alien species made when anticipating drama. This was bad. This was very bad. "Your Majesty, I assure you that my conduct has been entirely professional. And did you know," the queen interrupted, rising from her throne, "that my daughter is expecting?" The hall fell silent. Completely, utterly silent. Cole's mind raced. Expecting what? A promotion? A gift? An attack from a rival house? His diplomatic training had covered many scenarios, but this particular phrasing was confusing him. Princess Vara stepped forward. Her scales flushed a deep orange that he had learned indicated embarrassment. "Mother, please." "A child, Ambassador Cole," the queen continued, descending the steps of her dais with slow, deliberate movements. "My daughter carries a child." Oh no. Cole's training abandoned him entirely. His mouth opened, but no words emerged. Around the hall, the silence broke into whispers, gasps, and what sounded like several species equivalents of shocked exclamations. He managed, then stopped. "We, that is to say, you seem surprised," the queen observed, now standing directly before him. From this close, she was absolutely terrifying. "Did you think Vraxian biology was so different from yours?" "Actually, yes," Cole blurted out before he could stop himself. The medical assessment said that cross-species reproduction was impossible, that the genetic compatibility was. "Your medical assessments were wrong," Princess Vara said quietly. "As we recently discovered." Cole turned to look at her. She met his eyes, and he saw something there he had not expected. Hope, mixed with terror, that mirrored his own. The past 6 months flashed through his mind. The long nights working on trade agreements. The conversations that had drifted from professional to personal. The moment 3 months ago when professionalism had failed entirely, when they had both decided that the rules separating their species were less important than what they felt for each other. They had been so careful, so discreet, or so he had thought. "Your Majesty," Cole said, forcing his voice to steady, "Princess Vara and I have developed feelings for one another. I know this breaks protocol, but I assure you my intentions are honorable." The queen finished. "Noble? Respectful?" "Yes. Good," the queen said. Then she did something Cole had never seen a Vraxian do. She smiled, revealing rows of crystalline teeth. Because you are going to marry her. The hall erupted. Not in anger, as Cole had expected, but in what sounded like celebration. Aliens of every description were suddenly cheering, their various vocalizations creating a cacophony that made Cole's ears ring. I'm sorry, what? You heard me correctly, human, the queen said, her voice warm now rather than threatening. You will marry my daughter. The ceremony will be held according to both Vraxian and human traditions. Your people will be invited. An heir to the Vraxian throne will be born with both our species' blood flowing through them. But the laws, the regulations about interspecies, laws can be changed, the queen declared. My daughter chose well, even if she chose rashly. You have treated her with respect. You have shown courage in facing me today, even when terrified. And according to her, you make her laugh, which is something I had feared she had forgotten how to do under the weight of royal duty. Princess Vara had moved to stand beside Cole now. She took his hand, an intimate gesture that sent fresh waves of murmuring through the crowd. I wanted to tell you, she said softly. I found out only 3 days ago. The physicians were as shocked as anyone. They're still trying to understand how it happened. Life finds a way, the queen said. It always has. Perhaps this is the universe telling us that our species are meant to be closer than we thought. Cole squeezed Vara's hand, his mind still reeling. I need to notify Earth. The diplomatic corps will have questions. The media will go insane. There will be forms, so many forms. Later, the queen said. For now, we celebrate. But first, there is one more matter. She turned to face the assembled crowd, raising all 4 arms in a gesture of command. Silence fell immediately. My daughter carries the heir to the Vraxian throne, the queen announced. By our oldest laws, the father of an heir becomes consort to the throne. He is granted the title of king consort and all rights and privileges therein. Cole felt the blood drain from his face. King? King, the queen confirmed. And then, from thousands of throats, in dozens of languages, the cry went up. King. The word echoed and re-echoed through the hall. Aliens who had regarded him with suspicion now bowed. Guards who had escorted him under watch now saluted. Somewhere in the crowd, Cole could hear what sounded like human voices, probably from the small Earth delegation present, cheering along with the aliens. This is insane, Cole muttered. Yes, Vara agreed, but she was smiling. Welcome to my world. The queen gestured to her guards, who approached carrying a ceremonial sash of office. Before Cole could protest further, they had draped it across his shoulders. It was heavy, woven from some material that seemed to shimmer between solid and liquid states. You will have much to learn, the queen said, her tone now businesslike. Our customs, our history, our military protocols. Vara will teach you, and you will teach us about humanity, so that we may better understand the heritage of the child who will one day rule. What if I'm terrible at this? Cole asked, the question escaping before he could stop it. The queen laughed, a deep rumbling sound that made the floor vibrate. Then you will be a perfectly normal king. Do you think I knew what I was doing when I took the throne? I was younger than you are now, thrust into power after my mother's death, surrounded by advisors who thought I was too weak to rule. She leaned closer, her voice dropping so only Cole and Vara could hear. I roared, Ambassador Cole. I roared so loudly that they had no choice but to listen. Now I ask you, when the time comes, will you roar? Cole thought about Earth, about humanity's long history of doing impossible things, about the ships they had built to reach the stars, about the peace they had forged with species that had once seemed incomprehensibly alien, about the fact that he was standing in an alien throne room, having just learned he was going to be a father, being declared a king by creatures he had not even known existed a year ago. "Yes," he said, "I will roar." The queen's smile widened. She turned to the crowd once more. "Then let all assembled know, humanity and Vraxia are now bound by blood. Let this be the beginning of a new era. Let our species move forward together, stronger for our unity." The cheering began again, louder this time. Cole felt Vara lean against him, and he wrapped an arm around her shoulders. They stood together before thousands of witnesses, two people from different worlds who had found each other against all odds. "I love you," Vara whispered, barely audible above the noise. "I love you too," Cole replied. "Even if you just made me a king without asking. Would you have said no?" Cole considered this. Considered the woman beside him, the child they had somehow created together, the future that suddenly stretched before them, full of impossible possibilities. "No," he admitted, "I wouldn't have." Somewhere in the crowd, the human delegation had started a chant. It was picked up by other species, spreading through the hall until everyone was saying the same word in their own language. The word rang out again and again, and despite everything, despite his terror and confusion and the absolute certainty that he was completely unprepared for what came next, Cole found himself smiling. Humanity had reached the stars looking for a place among them. He had never imagined he would find it like this. But then, life had a way of surprising you. The queen was right. He would learn to roar, and the universe would listen.